Hey guys, it's Johnny, and welcome to July's kind of, I didn't want to call it a passive income report because it's so much more. It's not just about the money anymore. It's about where I've traveled, my goals, how I messed up last month, how my priorities have changed, kind of the reflection of all of it, and really just a monthly update as life as, you can call it a digital nomad, but more of now an investor, early retirement, business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you want to call it. This is the update on everything I've kind of learned and done this month. So right now I'm actually at a co-working space here in Kiev, Ukraine, which is the capital of Ukraine here in Eastern Europe. And I've been here for exactly a month. And it's actually pretty crazy because it doesn't really feel like it's been a month here. It feels like, I don't know, like it feels like this place is so different than anywhere I've ever been. And it's not easy to live here. Most people speak Russian, and the level of English is pretty low. Everything is difficult. Looking for a co-working space has been a 2-week ordeal. Showing up at places that either weren't open or wanted, wanted a 20-person team only, so it wasn't really a co-working space, or places that just like it just wasn't easy. And even the place we are at now, it's insane because it's been a week. We still haven't gotten pass cards yet. And by we, I mean me and my buddy Chris, who finally left Bali to come join me and just hang out, also as well as work on a new project together. But little things like paying the bill here has been a nightmare because they don't take credit card, they don't take PayPal or bank transfer. You can't. I guess you could give them, I don't even know if you can give them cash, to be honest, but they want us to print out an invoice, go to a bank, transfer them money there just to pay for a co-working space. So that kind of just shows how much of a kind of a pain in the butt little things are here in Ukraine, but there are tons of great things about it. Probably the thing I like about it most is that it's an adventure every single day. So it makes it so I don't need to travel on weekends to, get out of the city and explore, because literally everything that we do, from going to the supermarket to going to a co-working space or going to the gym, has been an adventure. Looking out the window, I actually saw this, which was thousands of people from the Orthodox Church marching down the street in, these cardinal outfits that I've only seen on TV. So things like this kind of make it just kind of interesting. I don't really know what the word is, but definitely interesting. And even just kind of randomly being at the park, I saw people battling in like full on armor and knights uniforms. And I don't see any of this stuff back home. So this is kind of a part of day-to-day life here, which is kind of fun. So anyways, this is the co-working space. It's been fun. It is now August 1st, I believe. So July was a good month. It was my birthday. Shout out to everyone who left comments on my birthday video. And my goals for the month, which I thought were going to be my goals, was to practice Russian, because I really want to be able to communicate with the people here and really understand their culture. The reason why Russian is what I'm trying to learn and not Ukrainian is because, for whatever reason, long story, long history, but in Kiev, the capital city, most people speak Russian. On the East Coast, on the West Coast, this is the West side, where I was in Lviv, everyone spoke Ukrainian, but here people speak Russian, and it's also more useful if I travel. So I thought I wanted to learn Russian, and I started listening to a podcast about it, started going on an app, but ever since Chris arrived, I've been hanging out with him, and I haven't been practicing, but it is still a goal for me to add a little bit more into my life, so I am going to be practicing. At least, it's not gonna be a big priority, but at least a little bit. At least I'll say twice a week. I want to, really sit down and practice. Fitness has been a big part of my goals, not only for this month, but also just kind of in general. And I know how important it is because it makes me feel better. It makes me just enjoy life more. Everything is just more enjoyable when I'm in shape. So that's been a big part of my goal setting, to get back into routine of working out. And good news, woohoo! I am slowly but surely getting back in shape. Diet-wise, I've been avoiding beer. I don't think I've actually had a beer this month, or at least for the last couple of weeks since Chris arrived. So that's been very helpful. And I'm try to eat less bread and pizza and all these things. Not as fit as quickly as I would like, but I'm going on the right path. I joined a jiu-jitsu gym here, and it was the cheapest jiu-jitsu gym I've ever seen anywhere in the world. Chris said the same, and he's a purple belt, and he's been training for 7 or 10 years. But $15 for membership, which is awesome. Shout out to BJJ Kiev, I guess. I don't even know the name of the place. And I also signed for CrossFit, which is also the cheapest CrossFit membership I've had. And I think it was something like $40 for the month. And I'm happy to say I found acro yoga here. That's something I've really missed. Something that, if you read my blog, I started doing when I was in Pai near Chiang Mai about a year ago now, a little bit over, and made a fun video of me doing some beginners acro yoga, some practice. So you can check out that. And I'm very happy to say I'm back in business growth mode. What does that mean? That means I'm officially bored of retirement. It's been fun these last 6 months not really working. But it's honestly, I think it's two things, right? One, besides the boredom, I feel like I'm not living to my potential, and I'm not helping as many people as I can. So Earnest Affiliate's been my course for the last 2 years now, and I've been wanting to update it for the last year. I keep talking about it, and finally this month I've actually sat down. I started recording videos. I think I have 5 videos already recorded and uploaded to kind of privately to the back end. I think in total there's going to be 25 new videos. It's going to be completely ramped. I'm actually going to be changing the name of the course because nobody can spell Earnest Affiliate, and moving out to a different platform, which is going to be teachable. And I'm having Chris help me with kind of the back end, the website stuff and the remarketing and all that stuff. So I'm really going to take this seriously. And I've been, spending all day here, just every day, 5 days a week, like really focusing on this. So hopefully this will be out by the end of August. If you guys are a member of Earnest Affiliate before then, before it launches, you guys get grandfathered in, which means for $197, which is the old price, you get a free upgrade to the new course, which is going to be $497. So that's a huge savings. If any of you guys wanted to join, you can go through the old course this month, or you can just I guess you can just hold on to the membership if you want. And you'll get an email upgrading you to the new one when it launches. So I'm excited for Earnest Affiliate 2.0. And I'm also excited that even though I haven't actually been working these last 6 months, I still make about $8,000 a month from passive income, mostly from my affiliate sources. So I used myself as a case study to really just learn more about how to just monetize traffic. So things like different blogs, email lists, YouTube, really even my Instagram, just figure out ways to monetize. And I use that as case studies in Earnest Affiliate. And now the 2.0 course, that's really what it's all based upon. I based it upon going from making, $3,000 a month from an affiliate income to making 8, 10, 15 or more a month from that. So I'm excited for that. And what's also really cool is I've invested all the money, basically 75% of the money that I made last year from my dropshipping stores as well as my affiliate income, and that's paying off. So I'm not counting any of the index fund returns because I'm not selling it, and it'd be unfair to list that on there. Just because it fluctuates so much every month. So I don't include that in the profit. But if I did, I actually made $10,000 this month, so $10,826, which is amazing for being in a cheap third world country, traveling and working on a new project that's not even making money yet. So that's awesome. Here is my Vanguard index fund account, and you can see the growth from this year. One thing that you'll notice though is I had to take money out. That was actually the first time I've taken money out, and every month I've put $3,000 in, no matter if it was going up or down. And it was kind of scary to have the first month not putting money in. And the reason why I'm not putting money in is because I think, and this is just guessing, I know nobody knows for sure. I feel like the stock market and the real estate market has a potential of dropping a lot in the next year. And I am not going to freak out and pull money out because I don't think that's the best plan either. But at least for now that I'm not making as much profit as I did last year, I'm not going to continue putting money into it for a while. I'm going to start putting money into other things. So the other things I've been putting money into is like apartment buildings using e-REITs. which I'll show you in a second, as well as something else that's really cool. But what's awesome is the money I'm making from all my different affiliate sources is still giving me enough to not only pay for all my expenses, but also to invest. So I think that's really exciting to be able to do that. So this month, my expenses were actually a lot lower than last month, because last month I was in Ireland, which is expensive, Barcelona, which is relatively cheap, but I was flying a lot, so that added to it. And then I donated $600 to the what was it called, the Children's Dream charity walk that Sam put together, and that was a big kind of chunk of change as well. So that was a lot of money last month. That this month has gone down because my apartment is much cheaper. It's $425. In total, I think it's $850 for Chris and I, but it's a 2-bedroom apartment. We each have our own room. We're in the city center. It's great. And I actually like living with them. That way we don't have to meet up all the time. We can just meet at home and go out. So that's cheap. It's a good place. My data plan for my phone, I don't know what you guys are paying for 6 gigs. Well, first, I don't need more than 6 gigs because there's Wi-Fi everywhere here. But 6 gigs, I'm paying $2.30. And it's fast, it's reliable. This is another reason why I love Eastern Europe. Poland, it was cheap as well, but Kiev is even cheaper. Transportation is super cheap. A metro ride is 20 cents, and I have a metro card, so it makes it nice and easy. And Uber rides are about $2, maximum $3 anywhere you want. And it's a very walkable city, and it's healthy for me, so I've been walking a lot too. So my transportation costs are super low, super easy to get around, especially compared to places like Bali, where it was a nightmare to even go a kilometer away, unless you wanted to drive a scooter on the worst possible roads in the world and risk getting in an accident, which a lot of my friends have gone in accidents there. So be careful if you guys are in Bali. People die there all the time, or people get in really bad accidents because of how bad the roads are, how bad the other drivers are, because how just terrible the infrastructure is there. So be careful when you're out there, wear a helmet and be safe. But here, I'm happy to say you can walk everywhere. It's a very, very walkable city. The metro is very good and ultra cheap. It's actually less than 20 cents. I think it's 19 cents per ride. And Ubers are cheap as well. So really, transportation is great in Kiev. Co-working spaces are pretty expensive. It's $175 per month. And I talked about it in the article, but this is the best one I can find. It's called Platforma. It looks nice, looks great, looks beautiful. It looks like a WeWork, but there's little issues because nothing is easy here in terms of getting things done and logistics. But that's just Ukraine. Welcome to Ukraine. That's kind of the biggest thing I've heard when I ask, why do I need to print out an invoice and go pay my membership at a bank? Welcome to Ukraine. That's just what you do. CrossFit super cheap. Jiu-Jitsu super cheap. Start doing acro yoga and once a week. And the thing I probably spend the most on is food and drinks. And it's because the restaurants here are good and I'm eating out all the time. If you ate at home like normal Ukrainians, it would be really, really cheap, because you have to remember most people on average are making $300 a month. So they can't afford to go out and spend $8 on dinner every night. So they eat at home most of the time. I've also been, just treating people out, going on a few dates. So my food, drink, and kind of other expenses have been much higher than I guess it needs to be. And I made a mistake of buying 3 pairs of shoes this month. Long story, but basically I needed new shoes. I literally had a hole in the bottom of my shoes from walking so much here in Barcelona. And Chris was making fun of me, and I needed new ones anyways. So I bought a pair of kind of all-terrain New Balances, and they cut up my feet because they were so stiff that I had to buy a new pair. So I went out and bought a pair of Nikes, and Nikes are so narrow that I had to buy 2.5 sizes too big, which fixed the width problem, but then started kind of giving me a lot of problems because there's so much room front and bottom. So I realized I just can't wear Nikes. So I had to go out and buy another pair of Adidas shoes. The all-terrains are also Adidas. So I had to buy another pair of Adidas shoes, and finally found ones that actually fit. Luckily, I was smart. I always bought kind of on sale shoes. So in total, it was $175 for that, and a couple new shirts. So these are things I don't really need to spend money on. I kind of just did. So my base actual spend of living in Ukraine, because I think that's what people want to know, because I don't think we should factor in clothes and shoes because that's gonna be different for everyone. That's not a normal expense. But $1,215 a month for my base spend, and that includes 2 gym memberships and a co-working space and an apartment in the center, like literally like 1 block away from the most popular meeting spot in Ukraine. So that's pretty cool. That's a good value, and this is also eating out every single day. So relatively cheap living here, I would say, very close to Chiang Mai actually, like surprisingly close for having a European type experience, which is nice. But I'm still giving some money to a little Muay Thai camp in Isan. It's 500 baht a month, which is $15. And sending money to my mom because she's retired and I've signed up for an auto pay. So hello, shout out to my mom. And so in total, if I add all that up, it is $2,730, which is, quite a bit, but that's another reason why I want to start working and making more money so I can have extra cash to be able to do things that I enjoy doing, like, being generous with my friends or my parents or my family, taking them on vacations and things like that. I also spent a ton of money this month on investments, but I don't include that into an expense, because if you guys read Rich Dad Poor Dad, you'll know that buying an asset is very different than spending money on liability. So these are things that I kind of just put money into that make me more money. I got this money from selling my 2 dropshipping stores as well as running them the last 2 years. And now 100% of that money is allocated, and that's making me money now, which is great. The first thing I put a bunch of money in, I put another 10 grand into is Fundrise, into the Growth REIT and their Heartland E-REIT, which means basically I am now a partial owner of a bunch of apartment buildings throughout the US, and a lot actually kind of in the center where I think there might be some growth coming. That's going to be paying me monthly dividends as well as hopefully appreciating and growing when it sells in 5 to 7 years. I also put a ton of money, put 20 grand into something that I had never even heard of until we interviewed the CEO of Yo Street on the Invest Like a Boss podcast just a few weeks ago. And this was called, and I have to read this actually. It is, God, I don't know how to say it. It's like diversified pre-settlement portfolios. You guys can listen to that episode if you guys want. I'm definitely not an investment expert, so don't think I'm your advisor or anything. But basically, put 20 grand into something that has nothing to do with either real estate or the stock market. So because I feel like they're not correlated to either the stock market or real estate, which I feel like are kind of intertwined, where I feel like if the stock market drops a lot, it's probably going to bring down the real estate market with it, and vice versa. So I've been really kind of worried about my paper net worth dropping, even though I know it doesn't really matter if I just hold it for a long time. But this is something that I wanted to have be completely separate. You can listen to the podcast for more info, but that was a big move on my part, and hopefully it's going to pay off. So more updates on that later. And that's about it. So that's my kind of monthly wrap up. It's been a fun month. It's been a really, really exciting time of not really traveling, but living in a completely new, different country. That's exciting. Working on a new project that I'm really, really excited about, that I'm looking forward to. Being able to do the sports that I really like doing, and just really, and being able to hang out with my best friend, who's also in this position now because he sold his dropshipping stores just last month. So big congrats to Chris. I know he's not as public as I am, but he is much smarter. His store was much bigger. So he made something like 4 times what I made with dropshipping, and he doesn't even have a blog. So this is why I'm excited about it. And this is why anyone who thinks dropshipping doesn't work is a freaking idiot. People like him are crushing it. Big companies like Wayfair and Hayneedle are gigantic. You can look them up. But this is really the best first step into getting into online business and bringing you into the best last step, which I really believe is investing. So more on all this kind of later as it goes. Thank you guys for following. Thanks for subscribing. And If you have any questions or comments, leave it below because I would love to hear from you, see what you guys are up to, and I'll see you next month. Bye bye.